Well, that is right, my friends. You are listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk, and yes, I am your host, Todd Huff. We're going to be talking about infrastructure today. We're going to be talking about Easter, Good Friday. Some folks, I know that there's folks that get offended by the term Easter. I don't mean it. That's just what it's commonly referred to. Resurrection Sunday. Anyway, we'll talk about those things and, time permitting, a couple of other things as well. But I want to start by talking about infrastructure. And even though she wasn't necessarily talking about the infrastructure bill, Dr. Jill Biden, I'm sure, when talking about passing the so-called infrastructure bill, would have something to say similar to this.
Si se puede. The future is ours. Thank you. So say it with me. Si se puede. The future is ours. Thank you.
Standing in front of what appears to be a Nazi flag. Si se puede. What the word? Si se puede is what it is. Yes, we can. This was something that was made popular by during the Obama years. Si se puede. Si se puede. I've seen all sorts of folks out there defending her, saying that, hey, man, this is hard to say. Si se, it sounds like si se padre to me. Yes, we father? Yes, we father? Is that what she said? I don't know. Anyway, this is the smartest group of people. Dr. Jill Biden, may I remind you, si se padre, not even padre, padre. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about infrastructure here this morning, this piece of infrastructure legislation. Supposedly, I say supposedly, because there's a lot in this bill that doesn't have anything to do with infrastructure, but you knew that already. This is how the game is played. $2 trillion with a T, $2 trillion piece of legislation. In fact, we'll start here. I wasn't planning on playing this till a little bit later in the program, but I'll play this soundbite. This is at a press conference with Jen Psaki, who undoubtedly is circling back on all sorts of things in the wake of that press conference. We'll be waiting with bated breath to see what she circles back with and how she fills in the gaps of things that she undoubtedly did not answer during this press conference. But a reporter from Fox News, Ducey, not, what's the younger Ducey's name? Is it Peter or? We're drawing a blank here. But Ducey, I think it's Peter's the kid, I think. Anyway, Fox News reporter asking Jen Psaki a question at this press conference, points out how much of the $2 trillion is actually set aside for so-called infrastructure. When you think of infrastructure, what do you think of, or what do you think it's meant to imply? Maybe that's even a better way of asking it. What do you think it's meant to imply? Isn't it meant to imply that we're going to fix roads and bridges primarily? You may be wondering why we even need to do that. And I want to pause. I think infrastructure is one of those things that actually is a responsibility of the federal government. This is something that, well, not the whole bill. As we break this down, you'll know what I mean by that. You probably do already, but we'll just kind of venture through that here in a moment. But it's meant to imply, just the network, the transportation network, I guess, of the country. That's primarily what it's meant to imply. And people will get behind this, right? People will get behind infrastructure in general. Now, I'm saying nothing else going on. I'm saying there's a tax increase with this. That's a problem. There is all sorts of a Democrat wish list, a liberal's wish list tucked into this thing. Trillions, well, over $1 trillion for that as well. So the other things are problematic, but just in and of itself, infrastructure is not necessarily a bad thing. Now, it is a bad thing when you factor everything else going on, how much they want to spend and how they want to do this. Be prepared to hear about something that Chuck Schumer and his team have just stumbled upon that suddenly gives them the ability, they will say, to bypass the filibuster for virtually anything that they want. That's in this as well, because again, in the Senate, they're going to need 60 votes if they follow the traditional rules, unless they try to somehow do budget reconciliation or work around to the filibuster, which seems to be what they're setting up to do here. And of course, the media will complicitly walk alongside of them and tell the American people that this is just, this is the way it's supposed to be. That's not the way it was when the Republicans had the House and the Senate. Nope, that's not the way that we did things. This would have been an assault on our democracy. This would have been an abuse of power. This would have been trying to silence the voices of minorities if this sort of behavior and strategy was undertaken by Republicans when they were in power. But you may be wondering, didn't we just do something with infrastructure? Don't we hear this all the time? Well, I go back here. I find an AP story, December 4th, 2015, just a little over 5 years ago. For any socialists that may be in the audience today, obviously needing some help with math. I'm kidding, but just a little bit. Here's what it says. Headline, Obama signs, this is an AP story, Obama signs 5-year infrastructure spending bill. Washington AP, a 5-year, $305 billion bill to address the nation's aging and congested transportation systems was signed into law Friday by President Barack Obama, who said it will put Americans to work and provide states with the federal help they need to commit to long-term projects. I would say, I don't know about you, but I would say a long-term project would be one that would qualify for 5 years. This bill shouldn't even be done yet, should it? The bill, the article continues, was overwhelmingly approved by Congress a day earlier, provides a modest increase to highway and transit spending, but falls short of the $400 billion over 6 years the administration officials said is necessary to keep traffic congestion from worsening, nor does it resolve how to pay for transportation programs in the long term. So 5 years ago, we needed $305 billion for a 6-year program, even though they wanted $400 billion. Now we get basically, what is it? $400 billion to $2 trillion? That's the price. Is that how much the cost of building roads and bridges has increased in 5 years? From $305 billion, or even, if you will, $400 billion. The cost of, or what was actually passed, or what was projected to be needed by the left, $400 billion by the Obama administration. They only get $305 billion. That's supposed to be spent over 6 years. It is transportation and infrastructure related, but we act as though that never happened. I'm reminded of the American, Recovery or Rescue and Recovery Act, which saved America from utter disaster, supposedly, saved us from a Great Depression. All these shovel-ready jobs. Remember this? Biden was in charge of restoring the economy, the summer of recovery that took basically until Trump was in office to fully hit. Remember this? But see, this, people don't care. People don't care about this. People don't think about this. People don't know this. You got to know what to Google. You have to understand, well, and sometimes Google even wipes it from existence as well. So, anyway, let's go back to Ducey here. Peter, I think it is. So Peter Ducey is asking Jen Psaki, basically, I'll play the whole question, but basically, this is how are you calling this an infrastructure bill if only he says 5%. I haven't dived in, or I haven't dove into the numbers and to that level, but Peter Ducey says it's 5%. 5% of $2 trillion. 5% of that. So he says, how can you call it a piece of infrastructure legislation. Listen to this exchange, and it's quite telling on what they're trying to do. Here's Jen Psaki answering very masterfully the question by Ducey from Fox News. Here it is.
And one of the most colorful examples that the president used yesterday, he asked if people remembered a bridge going down, but only 5% of the spending in this package goes towards roads and bridges. And I'm curious why that number is so low and something that is being sold as an infrastructure package.
We're actually selling it as a once-in-a-century or once-in-a-generation investment in partly our infrastructure, but partly industries of the future.
Yeah, have you heard it sold like that? It may be to the left. In fact, if you look at headlines from the left, they are saying things. I think it was in Mother Jones. I saw this somewhere, and I'm going to have to paraphrase. But basically, this is the closest thing to the Green New Deal that has ever been attempted to be passed, or that they think can pass and be signed into law by President Joe Biden. So, I'll take a look after the break. Timeout is needed here in a moment. But after the break, we'll look at the fact sheet. That's what the White House has put out. Fact sheet. These are the facts, Jack, as Joe Biden would say, supposedly. We'll look at the fact sheet. We'll look at what's in this. We'll talk about that. And in the latter half of the program, I want to talk about Easter, Resurrection Sunday, Good Friday. This is the most important weekend of the year. We're remembering the most important event in the history of humanity, history of mankind. This weekend, what we are celebrating today, or over this weekend, is the single most important event in human history. It truly is. The event that reconciles God and man once again. The event that opens to you and to me an opportunity to be reconciled to our Creator. So we'll talk about that as well. Quick timeout is needed. Sit tight. You're listening here to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. We will circle back to Jen Psaki. We'll circle back to this so-called infrastructure bill on the other side of the break. Sit tight. Be back in a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
Need to refresh or renovate your commercial space? Call Interior Construction Services today. Providing the highest level of quality construction at a competitive price, our service-minded team is here to deliver the detail-oriented environment you're looking to create on time and on budget. Call us at 317-991-4660 or visit us online at interiorconstruct.com. Interior Construction Services. Progressive, productive, professional.
Unhappy with your CPAP machine? Now you have an alternative. The docs at Indy Dental Sleep have an oral appliance that treats snoring and sleep apnea. They begin with an in-home sleep test that is diagnosed by a sleep physician before prescribing your appliance. And it's covered by most medical insurance plans. It's preferred 20-1 versus CPAP. Call 317-888-4036 and start getting the sleep you need. Or visit IndyDentalSleep.com.
Not again! There's never any hot water left for my shower. Everyone else gets a nice long soak and I'm left with ice water. I'm calling Commercial Service about their latest offer on tankless water heaters. I can save up to $800 on an installation. No more cold showers for me.
Call the partner you can trust. Call Commercial Service at 812-339-9114 or online at commercialservice.com. Commercial Service. Commercial grade service for your home.
Are you looking to purchase waterproof flooring for your home? Did you know it's as easy as typing rnrproducts.com/Todd in your search engine for a great deal on our core tech line? Since 1971, R&R Products has provided brand name products at an affordable price to the listening area. Call 317-745-5794 or go online to rnrproducts.com/Todd. R&R Products. We make your flooring experience easy and affordable.
the compassion of Christ. It's living life connecting to the broken and messy world. It's not simply walking down the street and dropping a quarter in someone's bucket. It's been perverted by Satan from biblical compassion to feeling sorry for, and sympathy isn't where God wants us to live. It's connecting to broken people in our daily life. Living the compassion of Christ.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the healthcare they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.
Are you concerned about your investments? Intrepid Financial has been educating, customizing, and servicing Hoosier investment portfolios since 1998. Our family-owned and operated business builds strong bonds with our clients. When you call, we answer the phone, always ready to walk you through your investment strategy. Intrepid means without fear. We want our clients to be fearless, to feel secure with their investments. Give us a call at 317-818-1776 or visit us online at intrepidfinancial.com.
Have you seen the price of custom cabinetry and countertops lately? If you're looking for quality, affordable remodels, call Carriage House Woodworking. Our helpful professionals will walk you through every step of the process. We're offering a free sink base with qualifying purchases. Just enter CHWEINC.com/Todd or call 317-406-3042. Call Carriage House Woodworking. You won't have to spend your kids' inheritance just to upgrade your kitchen.
Welcome back. You're listening here to the home of America's reality czar, self-appointed, by the way. Here to help the New York Times and the the Biden administration, not to be confused with the Obama administration. I'm here to provide my services at a phone call's notice to be the reality czar, here to help. By the way, this program is brought to you in part by, again, folks, encourage you to support our advertisers. We've got a website where you can go to supportouradvertisers.com. And we're just asking for a chance to give them a chance to earn your business. There's a whole list there, but one of those is Edwards Equipment. Folks at Edwards Equipment rent, they sell, and service many makes and models of lightweight residential or heavy-duty commercial equipment. They're located in Danville. You can find out more information on their website, edwardstractor.com, 317-745-6427, 317-745-6427, edwardstractor.com. So let's get back here to this this infrastructure, so-called infrastructure bill. The White House put out a fact sheet. These are the facts, Jack, as Joe Biden likes to say. First point is that they say they're going to fix highways, rebuild bridges, upgrade ports, airports, and transit systems. It will modernize 20,000 miles of highways, they say, roads, and main streets. Fix the 10 most economically significant bridges in the country in need of reconstruction. It will also repair the worst 10,000 smaller bridges, providing critical linkage to communities. This is typically what people think of with infrastructure. Now, Ducey said it was 5% set aside. When you read a summary of the bill, and I have, it says $621 billion. So roughly, what is that? About 30%, I guess, is what the administration would say is for roads and bridges. Again, Ducey says that number is actually 5%. I haven't dug in deep enough to tell you, but the point is it's not an infrastructure bill. In fact, it's a majority. It's 70% something else. So what is the something else? Well, I'm glad you asked, because in addition to that, it is about delivering, from the White House, this is what they say, delivering clean drinking water, a renewed electric grid, I will say this, the electric grid, the power grid is something that needs to be thought about and dealt with and addressed. The question is just, what are they going to do? What are they going to do here? Is it really going to make things better, or is it going to be worse? As many times the government makes things, of course, worse instead of better. High-speed broadband to all Americans. Then they want to build, preserve, and retrofit more than 2 million homes and commercial buildings, modernize our nation's schools and child care facilities, and upgrade veterans' hospitals and federal buildings. Also said that they want to solidify the infrastructure of our care economy by creating jobs and raising wages and benefits for essential home workers. Talk like this bothers me as an entrepreneur, as a small business guy. Government doesn't create jobs. In fact, what the government does more times than not makes it harder for businesses to create jobs, harder for entrepreneurs to create jobs because of the obstacles, the barriers, the rules, the regulation, the taxes, which is in this piece of legislation as well. They say they want to revitalize manufacturing. Of course, you don't folks, it is so simple. It is so simple and obvious for anyone who simply wants to understand this. You don't revitalize manufacturing by raising taxes. How is that going to help? You take more money from corporations, 7 percentage points, moving it from 21 to 28%. You can say it's 7 percentage points, but it's probably more appropriate to say that it increases the percentage that they take. It increases by 33% because you're taking a third of the 21%, which I know numbers are hard over the radio, but you're adding a third of what the rate already is and adding it on top of the current rate, taking it to 28%. How is that good? How is that good for revitalizing manufacturing? How is that hard, or how is that good on creating jobs? Raising wages? How is this good? Increasing taxes means that a business has less money on its bottom line to work with. So how is that good? How is that going to increase wages and job opportunities? It's going to do the exact opposite. As these things, it's predictable. We know how this works. Thomas Sowell has written about this, who is brilliant. This is not complicated. It really isn't. Anyway, that's what else they say is in this. They want to invest in research and development, train Americans for the jobs of the future. I can't imagine. You really want to let the federal government train people for jobs? Is that what we want to do? Look at the education system. The education system is completely broken in this country. It is. It's completely broken in this country. And now, to fix it, I guess we're going to start training more people for jobs that really, they're not being taught those things in schools today anyway. The primary objective, in my estimation, of universities and colleges is to further the cause of radical liberalism, to make people not like America as founded and desire something else because it's being taught by a bunch of pointy-headed, elite liberals who believe that America is a terrible place and that it would be better if it was more like the Soviet Union. I had the professors, folks. I had these professors. And they just think if you believe in free markets and capitalism that you're either a greedy, selfish pig or a hayseed hick who doesn't know anything, because capitalism is evil, they will tell you. Communism is good. It sounds so good. They gloss over the fact that it killed 100 million plus people in the 20th century. Literally. Not just communism, but primarily communism, but governments. Governments killing their own people. 100 million plus in the 20th century. Nah, just a little fact that they want to kick to the side, kick to the curb. Anyway, that's what this legislation is going to do, supposedly help train Americans for jobs of the future. Here we go with more good job creation nonsense. Create good quality jobs that pay prevailing wages. And a hat tip to the union workers out there, and safe and healthy workplaces while ensuring workers have a free and fair choice to organize. This is the removal of right-to-work laws. Join a union and bargain collectively with their employers. They can do that today. The right to work just says you're not forced to join a union. Anyway, this is what the talking points and the fluff are. But the bottom line is it's not all infrastructure. It is an attempt to transform the type of economy we have. In fact, Biden said this. We talked about this briefly the other day, and he said it again when he unveiled his plan here. He used a phrase, I'm trying to find it here as I'm scrolling. I'm not sure which one. I think it's in this one, this article at news or just the news.com. But Biden says we're going to reward work, not wealth. That's what apparently the government's job is. The job of the government, in the eyes of a liberal, is to reward work. I don't even know what that means. I know what they want you to think it means, what they want me to think it means, but the government's job is to reward work. You'll find that in the Constitution, right? Article 3, Section 2? Is that where it is? We reward work, not wealth. This is not the way that the founders thought. The founders thought the government exists to do, clearly defined things, and that individuals could live their lives. If you wanted to work for someone and could agree with the wages or compensation that they offered you, you took the job. If you didn't, you didn't take the job, right? I mean, that's how this started. Now the government's coming in to make everything fair. And what's the cost of that? Do people who clamor for this stuff, realize that there is a cost for the government to so-called come in and fix this and to make it fair? That cost is at least a 7% tax increase, 7 percentage points, 33% overall increase of taxes on businesses. Do they not stop and think that maybe that money could have been used to pay workers and now it's gone? It's going to the federal government. It's the cost of doing business, the cost of having the federal government act as your arbitrator, your negotiator. Then they're going to take more of what you earn if you earn too much. Doesn't sound like a system that I think is beneficial or that is good for the cause of liberty and freedom and the individual to keep, first and foremost, to have the right to keep the fruit of his or her labor. Anyway, this legislation is expensive. This legislation is mostly not about infrastructure. It's how the left passes all sorts of legislation. And there's a fight here over this filibuster and these new rules. And I want to touch on that just briefly because I want to get to Good Friday and Resurrection Sunday here by the end of the program as well. But I'll talk about the filibuster, what's going on there. They're going hard after Joe Manchin now. Chuck Schumer somehow miraculously found with his aides something in the 1974 Senate rules that allow them to somehow continually use the filibuster for virtually anything and everything. It's an amazing feat. It is amazing. The media doesn't have any problem with this. The media seems to be cheering this along, acting as though this is the only thing that's going to save our democracy. That and, of course, passing H.R. 1, which in my estimation is the most dangerous thing. It's still the most dangerous thing we're looking at, even considering this mini Green New Deal, pieces of that legislation tucked away in this so-called infrastructure bill. Timeout is in order, though. You're listening here to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. I am your host, Todd Huff, back here in just a minute.
Like what you hear on Todd's show? Why not get more by signing up for Todd's free Semi-Sweet Morsels of Truth newsletter? To subscribe, visit toddhuffshow.com/subscribe or text HUFF to 31996.
Wallace Construction is a family-owned business with 45 years' experience in asphalt, concrete, and seal coating. At Wallace Construction, our wide variety of experience and top-notch customer service have helped us build a strong reputation in central Indiana. But we don't rest on that reputation. We build it, one job at a time. If you have an upcoming project, call us at 317-422-5356. That's Wallace Construction, 317-422-5356, and ask for Richard or Roger.
Family owned since 1973, Edwards Equipment at 1375 East Main Street in Danville is ready to meet your equipment needs by selling, renting, and servicing several makes and models of lightweight residential or heavy-duty commercial equipment. We carry and service top-name brands like Ferris, Kubota, Steel, Gravely, Honda Power, Land Pride, and more. Visit edwardstractor.com or call 317-745-6427 to check out our clearance specials today. At Edwards Equipment, we don't just sell you any piece of equipment, we sell you the right piece of equipment.
When life is hard for the women you care about, there is help with issues such as widowhood, anxiety, depression, or abuse. They don't have to go through it alone. Peace Restored is there to walk with women through the journey. Peace Restored helps women through free mentoring, counseling, and education. When life is hard, Peace Restored is there to help women you care about find hope and healing. To learn more, visit peacerestored.net.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
Are you looking for reliable advice on real estate investing? Then you should start listening to the Homeboys. Clint and Scott have over 40 years of real estate investing experience that they use to educate and guide their listeners. Listen and learn from their experiences to maximize your real estate investment strategy. You can find the Homeboys podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or watch them on YouTube. That's the Homeboys podcast. They can show you how to get started and reach your real estate investment goals.
Hey Indy, Sid here with Kill a Dent Removal. We specialize in a paint-free repair process known as PDR. Our certified master technicians remove dents and dings of all shapes and sizes, including hail damage, with zero body fillers, zero painting, and zero diminished value. Most repairs are completed the same day, many even while you wait. Check us out at killadentremoval.com. And remember, folks, don't paint your car, go PDR.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freege, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freege, F-R-E-I-J-E, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freege, owner and lead auctioneer at Edding. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
Welcome back. I said I would talk briefly about this, and we're going to do this very briefly because the latter part of the program, I want to talk about Resurrection, Good Friday. I like to talk about those things during the appropriate time of year especially, and it is Good Friday today. So we're looking at the Senate, right? So the Senate, we've been through this a couple of times. I've explained it. You have a good understanding of the rules. You know how this works. You know that in modern history, to get anything done in the Senate of real, controversial legislation, you really need 60 votes to end debate, right? That's just how it works. And When Republicans are in control of the Senate, it is a great thing. The media loves the filibuster. Democrats use the filibuster. There's nothing wrong with the filibuster. It's necessary to prevent the majority from trampling on the rights of the minority, giving the minority a voice in the Senate, protecting them from all of the evils the Republican Party wants to perpetrate upon the racial minorities and the people from the lower socioeconomic classes. This is how it's portrayed. It's totally fabricated and made up silliness, but that's how it's portrayed. When the shoe's on the other foot, when Democrats have the House, they have the White House, and of course they have the Senate, but they only have the Senate because they have the White House. The Senate's 50-50. The Senate, well, other people would say there's other reasons they have the Senate. I don't want to get into that. But they have the Senate because they have the White House. It's 50-50. So Kamala Harris, probably laughing all the way to vote in the Senate, is the tie-breaking vote. She's the tie-breaking vote. However, that only gives them 51, even with the tie-breaking vote. So it's 50-50. How do they come up with 10 other votes, right? How do they pass this radical legislation? How do they pass massive spending and tax increases and all that without 60 votes? Because, as Mitch McConnell came out and said yesterday, basically Republicans are not going to be on board with this because of the tax increases. Mitch McConnell basically saying, look, we would entertain the infrastructure bill, but we're not going to vote to see taxes increased on the American businesses. Right? This is the sort of thing Mitch McConnell would say. And this is, you say, how do you get to 60 votes? Well, they're not going to if all Republicans, or even most Republicans, hold firm on that. You can't get to 60. However, this has been reported first in Politico, but also in The Blaze, and that's where I want to look at this, is in The Blaze, if I can find this, because I pulled that McConnell article up. Here it is. Schumer and Dems have a plan to dodge the filibuster and pass Biden's big spending agenda. Subheadline here, it's so crazy it just might work and backfire if Republicans win the next election. I think it's a little bit, with all due respect to The Blaze, I think it's a little bit foolish at this point to talk about if Republicans win the next election, because I think the calculation here is, can we pass all this radical stuff that will give us a permanent majority, right? The Democrats ran the show in the House and Senate for a long period of time, a really, really long period of time. I think until 1994 when the Republicans overtook kind of won the House out of nowhere. It might have been slightly before that, but there was a large chunk of time. I'm talking, it was a long time, decades, where Democrats ran Congress, both branches. And so they long for those years again. And so if they can use these rules in their favor, not just to pass the radical legislation, but also to create with this H.R. 1, which is why I'm saying it's the most dangerous thing that's out there. Basically telling states you can't ask for voter ID, basically telling states you have to have, all sorts of things that are not secure for elections. You have to, make voting by mail as easy as possible. And the easier that it is, of course, the easier it is to take advantage of that system and to increase fraud. But the left will tell you there's no fraud. It's an amazing thing. People respect elections. This country is run by, in the minds of the radical left, white supremacists, but the white supremacists will not, under any circumstances, try to take advantage of an election system that gives them an opportunity to make sure that their person's in power. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing to think that that's how these folks think, but it's not how they think. They instead see it as a way to make sure that they can, well, you know what it does. I don't know what else to say about this. But the point is, they can't do these things. They can't pass these things without doing something with the filibuster. However, Chuck Schumer's aides and Chuck Schumer himself have sat down and found out that there's a way to bypass this. It's called Section 304. And the top Schumer aides, this is in the Blaze article. It's being quoted from CBS News. Top Schumer aides have asked the parliamentarian in the U.S. Senate, this is the same parliamentarian that said that you cannot include the minimum wage increase under budget reconciliation, but they are asking the parliamentarian about using Section 304 of the Congressional Budget Act of 1974 to allow for a second reconciliation process this fiscal year. Remember, there's supposed to be a limited number of times that you can use budget reconciliation. And the parliamentarian is an expert on the obscure procedures of the Senate and can determine whether certain actions are permitted under Senate rules. The Blaze writes here, if the parliamentarian agrees with Schumer's argument, the Democratic majority in the Senate, with Vice President Kamala Harris's tie-breaking vote, could use budget reconciliation, this is the important part, as many times as they please to pass any bill that is related to the budget. But even should the parliamentarian disagree, Schumer still has options. The Democrats can pass the fiscal year 2022 budget resolution this year and the fiscal year 2023 budget resolution next year, giving them an opportunity to use budget reconciliation at least twice more during Biden's term. There's also the nuclear option, which essentially would allow the Democrats to bypass the filibuster on issues that they want to try to. It's the same way that it happened with the court nominations. It started when Democrats said, for federal court positions, we're going to use the nuclear option, which means we're not going to have the filibuster apply to this. Republicans then took that and used it for the Supreme Court nominations, which is how we got Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett, none of which had 60 votes. Anyway, I wanted to touch on that. I wanted to give you an update. These things, that's why we talk about the filibuster. That's why we talk about H.R. 1 so much, because I believe that these two things are critically important. Critically important to not just what happens right now, but to the future of our ability to fight back against this nonsense through the election processes and through the election itself. So, timeout's in order. Taking a quick break here. When we come back, I want to talk about Good Friday. I want to talk about Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday. And we'll do that after the break. Sit tight. Back here in just a minute.
Listen to Todd's show on your way to work, but want to hear more? Don't miss a beat. Visit toddhuffshow.com/listen to catch the program anytime, anywhere.
Hey Indianapolis, by now you've probably heard about Jody Dowdle with Midwest Tax Group. Jody and his team are experts at helping you prepare your personal or small business tax returns. You can count on Midwest Tax Group to get every deduction possible and work for your higher refund. And not just on this year's taxes, they'll check your prior returns for any tax savings you may have missed for free. Are you behind on filing your returns? They can file past due returns and help negotiate with the IRS too. They complete most tax returns within a week and charge an affordable flat fee, no hourly billing. And as their client, you can consult with the team at Midwest Tax Group year-round at no charge. Midwest Tax Group has 4 office locations in Castleton, Greenwood, Plainfield, and Greenfield, with evening and weekend appointments available. Schedule your appointment today at 317-288-5260. That's 317-288-5260. Or visit their website at mwtaxgroup.com. Midwest Tax Group can help you more than any piece of software ever could.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing,
and electrical done right.
Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the words. For on time.
There's a lot going on in the world today, and with so much going on, it's sometimes hard to maintain balance. Jesus said in John 16:33, "In this world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world." I'm Pastor Jeff Floyd of the Martinsville First Church of the Nazarene. To experience how life can be better with Jesus, come worship at M1 Church at 10 a.m. this Sunday, 1609 John R. Wooden Drive in Martinsville, or catch our live stream service on Facebook at M1 Church. For more information, visit m1nazarene.org. Have a great day today in Jesus.
Our word can't be diluted because we are taught that a promise is a commitment in which you always follow through. No ifs, ands, or buts. So every time you walk through Greg Hubler Chevrolet doors, you can count on the advice and expertise we provide you. Because when we make a promise, we keep it. Greg Hubler Chevrolet. Promise kept. Visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
Corn Homes is expanding their 55-plus community. Briar Creek is the only senior manufactured home community in Indianapolis featuring Indiana-built homes. Floor plans and finishes starting at $75,000. Enjoy affordable, low-maintenance lifestyle with the charm of a residential neighborhood. Located minutes from I-465 in Fort Harrison State Park. Corn Homes, family-owned and operated since 1955. Check us out at COHRONhomes.com. Mention the Todd Huff Show and receive a $1,000 discount on your new home.
Does your business have a plan for social media marketing? Are you reaching the right audiences through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the list goes on? Are you learning from the data? Jarbo can help. Our team doesn't just come in and tell you how to be successful. We help you execute and measure your sales and marketing efforts. Give us a call at 317-834-6560 or visit us online at jarbomarketing.com. That's jarbomarketing.com. Make social media work for you.
Welcome back. Program, as you know by now, brought to you by our friends at Freegee and Freegee Auctions and Marketing. FreegeeAuctioneers.com is the website. Freije, auctioneers with an S.com. They have their annual, I mean, who can pass this up? Annual Spring Big Boy Toy Auction. Annual Spring Big Boy Toy Auction. And I'm looking here, they've got vehicles, motorcycles, they've got golf carts, they've got things like Polarises and Gators, tractors, equipment, mowers. They got furniture, household items. All this is happening April 17th. You can bid online. You can bid in person. I'm looking here at a picture of a vehicle that we used to have something similar when I was a kid. It's like a 1987 SS Monte Carlo. I think ours was an 84. I remember ours was blue, and I think it was an 84. Anyway, check this out. FreegeeAuctioneers.com is the website. I'm going to talk a tad bit here about Easter today in the waning moments of the program, folks. This, as I said earlier, is the most important weekend of the year. This recognizes and celebrates the single most important event in human history. I know that that's a big statement, but I think if the resurrection is true, then this, without question, is the most important time in the most important event in history. You could say that the creation of the world was the most important time. And I could say, yeah, I guess we wouldn't be here if there wasn't a creation. But from the moment of creation and from the moment we decided to effectively turn our backs on God and to sin, we had a problem, a big problem, because God had to do something to fix it. We could not fix that on our own. And he sent his son, Jesus, whose birth we celebrate at Christmas, even though the time of year he was born is probably not that time of year. But the point is, we're remembering the event. This one did happen. We know that this event happened this time of year. The Good Friday, which is when the crucifixion took place, and the resurrection, which happened on Easter Sunday, what we call Easter, I guess, culturally now, but Resurrection Sunday. Single most important time event in history, being recognized and celebrated today. It's not about bunnies. It's not about chocolates. It's not about the Easter bunny or any of that. It's about a risen Savior. He is risen. He is risen for you. He is risen for me. His love is there. His forgiveness is there for anyone who chooses to accept that. And I will tell you this, if any of you want to learn more about that, I invite you. You can email me, todd@toddhuffshow.com, and we will do everything we can to share the love of Jesus with you. So have a happy Resurrection Sunday. This is Good Friday as well. the day of the crucifixion, but it's the day that things began where man and God were reconciled through the blood of Jesus. Gotta take a break. Back here in just a minute.
Had enough of the cancel culture? Why not fight back by directly supporting the advertisers who make this program possible? Visit supportouradvertisers.com to give those who help bring this program to you the opportunity to earn your business. Find out more about businesses like Ward's Apparel, Edwards Equipment, and Indiana Wooded Paradise Retreat by visiting supportouradvertisers.com today.
Hunting, fishing, bows, guns, ammo, safes, and more. The Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Greenwood has all the gear you need for your outdoor experience. We have a huge selection of brands that other shops don't carry, and a friendly, knowledgeable staff ready to answer all your outdoor adventure questions. At Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Greenwood, you can even hone your archery skills at our indoor shooting range. Find us online at outdoorsmansportshop.com. So get outdoors, but bring the right gear.
Fireplaces can be beautiful and even essential in heating some homes. But did you know they could be dangerous to your family if not properly maintained? Chimneys need to be cleaned and inspected annually. My family and I had Smalling Masonry inspect ours. They are friendly, informative, on time, and helped us use our wood-burning stove more efficiently. Call Christian-owned Smalling Masonry today at 317-903-8121 and mention my name, Todd Huff, for a 15% off chimney inspection and sweep. What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC.
Quality glass windows and doors add value to your home or commercial space. At White's Innovative Glass, our family-owned and operated company will work with you to ensure we understand your vision before we begin. And if you don't have a vision, we can help with that too. We proudly stand behind our work and look forward to your call. Right now, we're offering 15% off your next project. Visit our website at whitesinnovativeglass.com/Todd.
Hi, this is Caleb with Gluff Plumbing. Does your home need some plumbing updates? Gluff Plumbing is your solution. We specialize in updating old plumbing, everything from water heaters to well pumps, to underground leaks and everything that has to do with water entering and leaving the home, including water and sewer main excavations. We pride ourselves on old-fashioned customer service. Call Gluff Plumbing at 765-721-6789 or visit gluffplumbing.com. That's GLUFF plumbing.com. Call us today.
Weddings, reunions, business, church, or family retreats, Indiana Paradise Retreat is a hidden gem located right here in central Indiana. With over 11,000 square feet, a theater, gym, sauna, hot tub, pool, stocked lakes, and even an on-site event hangar, we have just the place for your next event. Find us on Airbnb, VRBO, or just search for Indiana Paradise Retreat. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Welcome back, my friends. Again, Good Friday. I just want to say in closing, not everyone that's listening to this program, shares my beliefs, and that's okay. That's okay, but it is what I believe is factually accurate, and it is something that applies to all people. We don't have to agree on this to be friends and agree on other things. In fact, you can think I'm crazy. That's okay on this. But that doesn't change the fact that I believe, as do millions of other professing Christians around the world, that this weekend, God died for you, for me, and he offers you the free gift of salvation just by accepting that. And I thank you for listening. SCG, see you Monday.
As a listener of this program, I have no doubt that you embrace the value of hard work, honesty, and integrity. And when you have the opportunity to work with a company that fully embraces and shares these values, I'm sure you jump at it. Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing is just that type of company in Central Indiana. Jeff and Jod Woods have a team of professional technicians here to help tune up your furnace or install a quality new train system. And they're also here to fix those nasty plumbing problems that seem to happen at the absolute worst time. So the next time you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling need, give the good folks at Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing a call. Call 317-831-5279. That's 317-831-5279. Or visit economyheatingandair.com.
The printing industry has changed a lot since we opened for business in 1931, but what our clients expect from us really hasn't changed. Quality print, fast turnaround, and competitive prices. We've learned a lot at Moeller Printing over 86 years and 3 generations. Why not put that experience to work for you? Call 317-353-2224 and mention discount code RADIO to receive 10% off your first order. Call Moeller Printing at 317-353-2224.
There is plenty to worry about these days. If you're working with Blake Hornsby at Northwestern Mutual, your retirement and financial security doesn't need to be one of them. Blake is a time-tested financial advisor with over 20 years of experience at Northwestern Mutual. For an independent review of your financial planning needs, call Blake and mention the Todd Huff Show for a free initial consultation. Call 317-215-8322 or visit blakehornsby.com. Invest in your peace of mind with Blake Hornsby at Northwestern Mutual.